Thank you all for coming. My name is Delia Gonsalves from Channel 9, and welcome to the first annual Global Scholars Foundation Gala, Unlocking Dreams. I've been a reporter at Channel 9 for about 8 years or so, going on 9. Occasionally you'll see me on the anchor desk. I've worked the mornings, I've worked the evenings, I've worked the late nights. I pretty much do everything. You might see me around with a camera as well. So I'm a jack of all trades, and I guess it's prepared me for motherhood because we all know mothers have to wear lots of hats as well. So I am a proud Ward 7 resident. Give it up. I am a wife, I am a mother of 3 amazing, spirited, energetic, vibrant, can I say anything, any other adjectives that can let you know that these 3 little girls run me ragged? I had to call Marcia and said, swimming lessons ran a little late. I will be there before 6, but I'm not gonna be there at 5:30. So that is the life of a mom, that is the life of a committed parent, and I know that there are so many committed parents here in this room, so I wanna congratulate all of you for your commitment and your hard work, your dedication to our children in Ward 7 and 8. As a parent, I understand the pressures. My children are in pre-K 4, first grade, and I have a 4th grader, and I understand the pressures and challenges of trying to give them the best education. You live east of the river, but you don't have any limitations. You believe that your children can strive and achieve their goals, their dreams. You want to give them the world. You want to give them opportunities that extend beyond their backyard, beyond their ward, beyond the District of Columbia, beyond this country. The importance of a global education, our children now becoming global citizens, is so vital for their success. And that's why this program, this foundation, the people committed to this group, doing wonderful work to extend the lens of our young children, to give them opportunity, to allow them to reach their dreams and their goals well beyond their vision and what they can see. So once again, thank you for all of you for attending, for your commitment to the Global Scholars Foundation. We are going to begin this evening with a blessing for our food and an invocation by Miss Wallastine Taliaferro Curtis. She is the board chair of the H Street Community Development Corporation and deacon at Mount Gilead Baptist Church. Please welcome her.
Father God, we've come to you today giving you all the honor, all the praise, all the glory, and all the thanks. I am so grateful that H Street Development Corporation not just think of adults, but our young people who have been a responsibility to us. Through education, through outreach, through travel, through scholarships, it makes a difference when we participate to make a difference in them. I am just excited. Well, all the people involved with H Street, your young people, just raise your hands. Raise your hands if we've given you a scholarship or you've done something with us. I see some of them. Thank you so much. And God is able. He's able to bring us a director who not just thinks of himself and receiving a check, but he thinks of the growth along with the total staff in making a change and contributing to the lives of each of our young people. And Father, for that we're grateful. I'm not going to be all night and talk because I'm not the speaker, but I want to say we thank you, Lord, for allowing us today to have this celebration and to share this meal, because we know you're able, You're able.
And as we welcome to the stage Executive Director of the Global Scholars Foundation, please a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Marcia Brown.
Welcome to the Global Scholars Foundation inaugural Gala, Unlocking Dreams. I am Dr. Marcia Brown, the Executive Director of the Global Scholars Foundation for the last 8 years. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of our parents, students, past and present, teachers, school administrators, board members, family, and friends to celebrate with us tonight. Tonight's program is student-led and student-focused. We wanted to use this opportunity to showcase exactly who we are and what we do. The students have prepared all remarks. They have done everything on the program tonight. Imani will play the French horn for us as part of our entertainment, and Jordan will also play the piano as part of our entertainment, and Jordan, by the way, is a self-taught pianist. The students prepared all of the interviews, they prepared all of the video, they did all of the editing. Kaya was our editor-in-chief here for all of the videos. They conducted all of the interviews and they put the whole program together. So I'm gonna take a seat and I want you to give them your attention, your love, and just welcome them tonight to showcase what we do and what we have done in the past. Welcome and enjoy.
Okay, so we want to hear from our young scholars. And first up, we have a 2018-2019 Global Scholars Foundation Fellow, a senior at Thurgood Marshall Academy Public Charter School in Southeast, Miss Gala Holdip, with Who We Are.
I'm excited about my senior year and all it has to offer me and embarking on the college process. Tonight, my friends and I are here to introduce you into the Global Scholars Foundation program. We are here to share with you who we are, my job, what we do, and how we do it. But first, let me tell you who we are not. We are not your average teenagers. We are students who all want a life-altering experience. We are committed to being engaged in a year-long program, and we are committed to showing up all the time on time. We are students from DC Public and Public Charter High Schools. Students in this cohort represent Benjamin Banneker Senior High School, Duke Ellington, McKinley Tech High School, National Collegiate Prep Charter School, Richard Wright Public Charter School, School Without Walls, Woodrow Wilson Senior High School, and Thurgood Marshall Academy Public Charter High School. We are between the ages of 14 and 18. We are artists, we are musicians, we are dancers, and we are singers. But most importantly, we are educated. Now this is the part where I give you some amazing facts, and your applause is much welcomed. We are high school graduates. 100% of all GSF students graduate from high school. We are college bound. 90% of all GSF students attend and graduate from college. "100% of GSF students in the last 6 years have graduated from high school and are currently in college. In 2018, there were 5 college graduates: Berhane Gourmet, Marshall University; Brianna Cook, Temple University; Jada Robinson, Cornell University; Lindsay McCoy, Maryland University; and Taylor Kelly, Tennessee State University. We are world travelers. GSF has traveled to 6 continents, and next summer we will travel to Egypt and Ethiopia. We are your leaders and the future leaders of the district. This is what we do.
So with more on what we do is GSF Fellow 2018-2019, a senior also at Thurgood Marshall, Mr. Kobe Whitaker.
Tonight, it's my job to explain to you what we do in the program. So let's hope I do a good one. All right, before I start my speech, however, I just want to state what our main goals of the Global Scholars Foundation are: building an appreciation for cultural diversity, a proficiency in foreign languages, international awareness, and competitive skills. So what do you guys actually do? That's a question I've gotten a lot, being in the Global Scholars Foundation. Every time I've been asked, I've never had a straight answer. It's not that I don't know what we do. Like, I don't know how to do the dishes. This is what my mom tells me. Hi, Mom. It's that this foundation does so much that it's hard to explain it as just one thing. So far in my cohort, it was leadership program, helping me and my colleagues know just what type of leader we are, and yes, there are more than one. Teaching us how to work in groups, even with the most stubborn of people. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. As well as it was a college readiness program, sending us to universities and colleges all across the DMV, some including Georgetown, George Washington, the University of Maryland, Howard, etc., opening us to opportunities that would have been harder to get without the program. At least it would have been for me. And did I mention we got free shirts and food? Yes, free food is the best food. That's what I say. We've also learned competitive skills, and in the past couple of weeks, cultural literacy. Speaking a foreign language, which in our cohort is Arabic. We started class last Saturday, and it's been a class. You know, I know a couple words like Ana Kobe, Assalamu alaikum, Inta Wen, She Knew, which I forgot what their meanings are, but I still brag about them. But this is only a small portion of what we've done compared to the other cohorts in the past. They've gotten to know their home of DC, exploring our museums and learning more about the laws and politics of our city, helping celebrate who we are and where we come from. Thank you, whoever did that. After appreciating their own culture, they get to see others by traveling the world, seeing things like the golden sunsets of Sydney, Australia, the Great Wall of China, the glistening sands of Dubai, and for us, the mystifying pyramids of Egypt and mountains of Ethiopia. They've also made friendships, creating relationships that might last forever, and in some cases, made a second family. Finding love, support, and a home, staying for years to come, helping other cohorts in the future. So again, what do you guys actually do? The real question is, what don't we do? Thank you.
And with a bit more on how we do it. GSF Fellow 2018-2019, a senior at Richard Wright Public Charter School, Miss Amani Romney.
My role here tonight is to tell you how we do it all. The short answer is, we just do what we're told. But no, seriously, there's a schedule that is tightly guarded and planned from start to finish for our whole year. But of course, we have fun along the way. The first step to executing the GSF program is to be present and on time. But we strongly encourage being early, because all students will tell you, early is on time, and on time is late. Oh, y'all can clap. Oh, yeah. Now, to get honest, the program is very long, but it is strategically divided into 3 phases over the span of 1 year, so it all works out smoothly. Phase 1 is a 6-week leadership academy, and it begins in June and it ends in August. The Global Scholars Foundation is a Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, or SYP for short. So GSF students register with the city so they can get paid to work at GSF. Now, before applying at GSF, I was already registered to the SYP program, and I thought I had to choose which one I want to be a part of. But of course, I was going to choose the GSF program, because I wouldn't matter at all if I got paid to do this or not. But luckily, I found out I got paid to do this. Anyways, in the first summer, my cohort just completed. We met every day, Monday through Friday, and for a maximum of 5 hours. Each week has a focus area. And this summer, we focused on goals, time management, learning, communication, leadership, and group work. We also completed resumes, job applications, personal bios, assessments and evaluations, a book report presentation, and an All About Me presentation, which we had to dress up and present at the City of Washington at a breakfast meeting. In the past summer, we took an improv class and got to visit 4 local colleges and museums. Oh, and we have fun at the Sky Zone. During phase 2 is the longest part of the program. It lasts until June of 2019. We're here for a while. During phase 2, which began last Saturday, we work with a language instructor on 2 Saturdays per month from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We learn the language of the countries we are going to visit, which is Ethiopia and Egypt. We just started studying Arabic, and soon we will delve into learning sign language, which I'm really excited for. We also continue our college tours and our financial literacy classes. Next weekend, we are going on a 4 schools. We're going to tour 4 schools in the Philadelphia area, the U.S. Mint, and the Amish country as part of our fall college and cultural tour. Phase 3 is the final phase of the program. It is similar to the first 6 weeks, but the big difference is that we get to travel internationally for 2 of those weeks. Yeah. We spend the remaining time of our 4 weeks reflecting on the program and our growth and progress, and we continue to learn with college readiness and financial literacy. Personally, I think this is a great opportunity for students to help better themselves as leaders. We only not get to travel and have such a great experience at a young age, but we're able to prepare ourselves for college and the real world. We are being able to be financially educated on making investments that will impact our future. And I truly believe that the Global Scholars Foundation program was one of the best investments I've made so far. Thank you.
And we have a musical selection by Miss Imani Horton. She is a GSF Fellow 2018-2019, a sophomore at Duke Ellington School of the Performing Arts. And as Ms. Horton prepares her sheet music, she will be performing Andante Cantabile by Peter Tchaikovsky. As many of you know, our global scholars are mainly from Ward 7 and 8, so we have invited their representatives, their council members from Ward 7 and 8 to share some remarks with us as we continue to celebrate the excellence east of the river and what Global Scholars Foundation is doing for these young people. So please join me in welcoming our council member from Ward 7, the Honorable Vincent Gray.
I want to thank Delia Gonsalves for doing what she often does, and that is being out in the community, helping people to celebrate the important things in their life. And this is an important thing for so many people, for H Street development and all the people who have gathered here tonight. I'm just delighted to be able to be a part of the celebration. So, one, again, let me thank you for what you're doing. I want to thank H Street Development. I want to thank also my longtime friend, Wallerstein Taliaferro Curtis. You're still the chair of the board, aren't you? I can't imagine you not being the chair of the board. That's a long time. I won't even say how many years of commitment it's been. I want to thank Marcia Brown as well. And I want to thank her husband, who is a dear friend of mine, Kwame Brown. Kwame, thank you so much. It was nice to see you the other night as well, and to know that you are doing what you've always done, being active in our community and engaged in helping to make civic life better than it otherwise might be. This is a great celebration for the Global, Scholarship Foundation mission, and to help young people have experiences, that they otherwise might not have, and that is being able to go abroad. Some of you may know that at one time I worked was the founding director of Covenant House in Washington, D.C. And we had a person who came forward at one stage and said, I'd like to be able to do something for young people. And I said, well, okay, what is that? I thought she was going to say, I want to help give them a meal or put a roof over their head or whatever the case may be. And that wasn't it. What she said was, I'd like to send 1 or 2 young people abroad. I said, really? We had young people in that program who had never been out of their own neighborhood, let alone, going to another state, another city. They went to France. They went to Paris, they went to London, and they went to a couple of other places. So, to see what's being done with the program that H Street Development has spawned makes me feel wonderful to be able to see that this is happening. And so I want to congratulate, H Street Development for what you all have done to make this happen, to allow our young people to experience different cultures, to be able to grow, to be able to move on with their lives so that when they come back, they are ready to take the education that they've gotten and to be able to put it to work to continue to make our city a great place. I was talking to some people the other day about something about which I'm extremely proud, and that is what we've been able to do with pre-kindergarten programs in the District of Columbia. We have the most robust early childhood education program in America at this point. You say, that sounds like exaggeration. It really is not. It is not. And I believe that it's going to make the difference over time in the lives of so many of our young people. I just read a piece of research that was done. I read it the other day, and the research basically said that it looked at the achievements of these very young children, but it also looked at the other reality, and that is that in this study, 11% more women have been able to go back to work because their children have been involved in this free pre-kindergarten program that the district is putting forth. And you know what? We're going to see in the years ahead, we're going to see how many young people also will continue to do better. We just got another piece of legislation passed, which I suspect you probably, because I know you follow a lot of this stuff, Kwame, but for our birth to 3 young people, that we now are going to have a universal birth to 3 program. We just got the legislation passed in June. It is going to open the door to the very youngest children in the District of Columbia so that they will be able to go, I won't say to school, because school's a little early when you're that young, but they will be able to go to services that will prepare them for pre-kindergarten and then kindergarten, so that we will, it's going to make a huge difference, I think also, and maybe I'm overstating the case, it's going to make a huge difference also in violence in the District of Columbia, because if you go to some of these programs for these very young children, you'll see that they not only are learning to read, they're not only learning arithmetic, they're not only learning math concepts, but they're learning to socialize, they're learning to get along with one another. And don't you think, ladies and gentlemen, that when young people learn to get along with one another, they will be less likely to engage in violent activity in the future? And so I have been proud to be a part of a council that has reached out. I mean, you probably have heard council members get up and say, council members don't agree on everything, which is true. But one of the things they will agree on are efforts like this. And so I promised Phil Mendelson I would join with him in helping to support this and make the presentation tonight. I don't know whether Trayon White is here, but he's my colleague who represents Ward 8, but if he's here, I'd invite him to come up and join me. But I want to present this resolution to the folks in H Street Development. It is, I'm not going to read all of this stuff because, boy, y'all would drag me off the stage if I read all this stuff, Marcia. So, in any event, it's the Global Scholars Foundation resolution. And maybe I should present it to you. You kind of the moving force. Can you represent H Street Development and come up and receive this resolution, or would that be inappropriate? Be appropriate to me, be fine. Who? There you go. Thank you, Kwame. I'm not going to read all these whereases because there's a lot of whereases. It's a program that's existed, as you well know, for 12 years, I guess since 2005, 2006, yeah. What it has done for children goes without saying, that young fellows in this program have studied in 5 languages that include Arabic, Mandarin, Portuguese, Spanish, and American Sign Language as well. So, it's hereby resolved by the Council of the District of Columbia that the Council of the District of Columbia recognizes and honors the Global Scholars Foundation, and this resolution may be cited as the Global Scholars Foundation Resolution of 2018. This is declared by the Council on this day, and whatever today is, it's 2018. Y'all pick a day, okay? What's the day, the 29th? All right, on the 29th day of September, I am proud to be able to present this to you for the work that you all have done, and I just ask that you keep doing it, set the tone for the District of Columbia so that people will know how much we care, how much you care about the children in the District of Columbia. Thank you very much.
China Challenge alumni and 2013 graduate of North Carolina Central University, currently employed at a Offender Supervisor Agency in the District of Columbia. Please welcome to the stage for some remarks, Miss Marquis Harris.
My name is Marquis Harris, and I am a 2006 participant of what was then known as the China Challenge. During my 9th grade year, I was awarded the opportunity to apply for the China Challenge program. I filled out the application and was soon granted the opportunity to interview for a program that would change my life. When I began the program, I believe the original time period was a 1-year commitment. We would meet on weekends and throughout the summer, learning Mandarin and engaging in activities that taught us about the Chinese culture. Just when we thought our year had come to an end, we were called back in for a meeting and was asked to continue for a 2nd year. Only this time, we were going on a 2-week, all-expense-paid trip to China. Never had I seen myself traveling abroad at such a young age, and definitely not for free. My class and I spent an amazing 2 weeks in Beijing, Xi'an, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. Honestly, it was a time and experience that I would never forget. After the China Challenge, I went on to graduate from Cesar Chavez Public Charter High School and attended North Carolina Central University, where I majored in criminal justice. Today, I'm working with Court Services and Offender Supervision Agency of the District of Columbia, and started working towards starting my own nonprofit organization that will service young women in the DC area. In each of these moments, and hopefully moments to come, I have been able to share a piece of my experience with someone. I've been able to participate in conversations and be open to new things and ideas that I would not simply have done without my participation in the China Challenge. So today, as I stand before you, it warms my heart to see that this program is still serving the youth of our amazing city and has grown not to only focus on Mandarin, but other languages such as Arabic. I love the fact that young women and men of color are being blessed with an opportunity to explore cultures outside of their own and actually spend time in other parts of the world. Like myself, I am sure that these students will take these memories and cherish them for a lifetime. However, programs such as the Global Scholars Foundation require support and funding in order to continuously make the impact that it's making. Our city, our youth need this program. So I encourage everyone this evening to continue to support the Global Scholars Foundation so that our youth can continue to explore and ascend to greatness. Thank you.
Now let's hear from another GSF alumni, 2017 graduate of Loyola University in New Orleans with a Bachelor of Business Administration. She majored in finance. and currently serves as a board member of the Global Scholars Foundation. It has come full circle for Mr. Casey Davis.
My name is Casey Davis, and yes, that's Casey as in Casey and JoJo, Casey and the Sunshine Band. Oh, and my nephew, personal favorite, Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles. I'm originally from here in DC, more specifically Southeast DC, born and raised. Okay, I see you. More specifically from Southeast DC, born and raised. I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of nervous. All right, more specifically from here, born and raised Southeast DC. I currently work for Hertz. I'm a sales representative. And so the Global Scholar Foundation program plays such a big role in my life. I'm gonna go on for days and days and days, and I know you guys don't wanna hear me stutter and hesitate and trip over my words, so I'm gonna make this brief and make this about 5 minutes. I know how hungry everyone is, so I'm gonna make this brief. But just that, in fact, actually, the Global Scholar Foundation had taught me just that, to kind of cherish those small things and can't really take the small things for granted, like food and small amenities that everyone kind of take for granted, or in other words, sleep on. I think that's what the kids are saying these days. I don't know, I'm getting kind of old. All right, so I'm so sorry. Good, okay, cool. I gotta breathe. Cool. So, like I was saying, so being exposed to different cultures, ideas, opinions, actually drastically shaped a young mind of a kid, most importantly, of a black kid from Southeast DC, born and raised in a single-parent household. Especially during that time in life where people kind of don't really see the difference between right and wrong and good and bad. So, yeah, especially between that time in life where people kind of don't really see the difference between right and wrong and good and bad. So being exposed to different opinions, ideas, and experiences is a way to kind of spark or ignite something in that guy's mind to kind of change the whole trajectory of their life. So that's what I was trying to say. It was kind of difficult, but yes. So, yeah. So for example, with me growing up in Southeast DC, only being limited to what's in between MLK Avenue and Southern Avenue, going beyond Anacostia River is kind of unheard of. So going somewhere like China was just crazy to do. I mean, all right, so yeah, I mean, for some reason, doing that was just, yeah, for some reason, doing that was just it just seemed like something that it could not be done. It just seemed like it was impossible. It seemed like something that was only done on TV. So it just seemed like something that was kind of too good to be true. But once I joined GSF and was able to travel more and do things like learn new languages, it started to be more feasible and more attainable for me. So I continued to learn Mandarin Chinese after I came back from China in China Challenge 3 program. Continued to learn Mandarin Chinese in high school, and then I continued to learn Chinese in college, and then I went on to study abroad in China by myself. So because of that, I continued to learn Mandarin Chinese on my own. I ended up going back to China to study abroad again. So in closing, I'm getting kind of nervous. So in closing, let me end with this quote. I know you guys are tired of having me up here. Let me end with this quote by Frederick Douglass, who also lived in Southeast DC. He said, "Without struggle, there's no progress." And what traveling and being part of GSF has taught me is that everybody has their own struggle. Like I have a struggle of speaking. Everybody has their own struggle, but everybody's struggle is different and unique to their own situation. So it is important to know and learn everybody's struggle. So all in all, I can honestly say that because I'm able to do just that within GSF, I'm able to broaden my horizons and to completely change the trajectory of my life in order to become who you guys see here standing today. Thank you all. All right. Thank you all for your time. I hope you guys enjoy the food. Have a good night.
Right? I think Casey spoke from the heart and told us exactly what this meant for a black young man who thought he was limited by where he lived. And he was able to go back to China, not only to visit China once, but return to China and change the course of his life. Congratulations to you. We're so proud of you. All right, so our final reflection before we continue with our dinner and enjoy a slideshow and some music is another GSF alumni. She's a junior marketing major at the University of the District of Columbia. Please welcome Miss Jalea Johnson.
My name is Jalea Johnson. I'm a GSF alumni of the 2015-2016 group. I'm also a current college student at the University of the District of Columbia, also known as UDC. Yes. I am in my third year of my marketing degree in business marketing, and I'm 75% done. I was first introduced to the GSF program in my 10th or 9th grade year, it's been a while, 10th grade year of high school, when my school counselor pulled me and a few classmates out of class and had us fill out this application and type an essay for this program, and the application was due that day. And a lot of my classmates were not willing to do it, but as I perused over the application, I grasped what I would be getting myself into and quickly filled out that application and did that essay. From day one, I was excited about the GSF program, and I knew that it would change my life. And I knew to take advantage of the opportunity and to really grasp everything that I would be taught. Okay, I went to the interview, I did the application, I went to the interview, and the next thing I knew, I was traveling to Spain and Morocco. There was so much more that I received in addition to the fantastic trip to Spain and Morocco, like lessons on college readiness, finance, and just life in general. One of the things that I thought was so special about the program was the relationships we built. Not only with each other as students, but also with the staff, who evidently believed in our abilities to excel in whatever we did, who encouraged us to step out of our comfort zones and to eliminate all limitations that people put on us, especially with us being Black youth, because majority of GSF students are Black, and who encouraged us to step out of our comfort zones and to think differently. The GSF program is not just a program where we travel. We learn more about the world and what lies beyond what we know. That there aren't limitations to how big we can dream and what we can do. I've been so incredibly blessed to be a part of the program and to have just been hired as their part-time office assistant because they can't get rid of me. while I complete my studies at UDC. It's not just a program that you gain, but an extra family. Thank you.
So before we wind down our wonderful evening, we do want to hear from our global scholars, our first global scholar to take the mic with some reflections on what this foundation has done for her life. A GSF Fellow 2018-2019, a sophomore at National Collegiate Prep Charter School, Miss Elena Ramirez.
As long as I can remember, I've always had social anxiety. If I was on a stage like I am right now, you wouldn't be able to tell. I was really a normal kid, expressive, energetic, loud. You would not ever know how closed off I really was. In my day-to-day life, I barely spoke to anybody. I was so reserved that I'd rather stay home and read a book instead of making friends or going out of my comfort zone. The older I got, the easier it was to manage my social anxiety. Still, it was very hard for me to get to know people I just met, and I stayed within my comfort zone a lot. This was hard for me, as I'm a very ambitious person, and to achieve everything I want to achieve, I have to be more out there and be able to talk to people without being afraid. Even though I have a moderate amount of social anxiety, there are moments when it takes over me completely. I'm paralyzed with fear, I can't talk, I can't even move. Usually this happens when I'm about to do something really important, so you can imagine how bad it can get when you're trying to do something that your future depends on and you're too scared to do it. Now I realize Now I realize you may be wondering why I'm talking about this at an event. Well, I think it has a lot to do with what we're here for tonight. The biggest way this program has impacted my life personally has been by helping me with my anxiety. The first day, I was extremely nervous. I was afraid that I was going to say or do the wrong thing. I was not very confident in my social skills. Almost immediately after arriving, I made my first friend that is now one of my closest friends, even though it has only been a few months since I met that person. I made more friends that day, but still, I was not sure of myself or my social skills. Over the next few weeks, that changed. I learned more about what I liked and what I wanted for myself. I got out of my comfort zone and spoke to people that at the beginning of the summer I never would have even approached. I started to take pride in the work I did instead of thinking what I did wrong, which was a problem I've always had. I learned many things that I know will help me in the future. To most people, this program would just be about the trip. What I have learned in my short time as a GSF fellow is that there's so much more to it than that. The program teaches you things that will help you through life. It gives you contacts outside of school or home. It encourages you to take risks if you know those risks will help you in the long run. It gives you friendships that will probably last for a long time. It helps you get creative and let loose. It shows us more to life than what we already know. It teaches you to keep an open mind towards anything. If somebody told me in May that I would be doing this today, I definitely would not have believed them. My anxiety is not completely gone, but now I have way more confidence than I had to begin with. This experience has been beyond amazing so far, and I cannot wait to see what comes next. Thank you.
GSF Fellow 2018-2019, a senior at Thurgood Marshall Academy Public Charter School. Please welcome Ms. Kaya Myers.
Our time is now to unlock our dreams. Today is full of promise, laced with opportunities. Put your dreams first because everything we have is now. Live it, love it, enjoy it, and don't stop until you reach the top. Good evening, distinguished members of the Global Scholars Foundation, and very important parents and special guests. My name is Kaya Myers, and I'm honored to be a fellow participating in the 2018-2019 cohort. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment in time. Global Scholars is a dynamic organization that I am proud to be a part of. I'm currently a senior at Thurgood Marshall Academy, and upon being accepted, I was so excited because it was my dream school, and I've always wanted to be a lawyer. The transition into high school was going well, but during that year, it was determined that I have chronic migraines. Can you recall a time you couldn't get out of bed? Now add that experience to dizziness, sensitivity to touch, light, and sound. This is just a snip of what my migraines feel like. Every day I have a migraine, and it can last from hours to days, and as a result has affected my everyday life. I have missed participating in activities, going to social events, spending time with friends, and missed days at school. I used to be ashamed of sharing that I have migraines because of people feeling pity, looking at me differently, or saying that I'm using it as an excuse or crutch. But I am not letting this obstacle stop me from pursuing my dreams. Throughout my time at Thurgood Marshall, I have taken honors courses, been on honor roll, and participated in several clubs and organizations. Thank you. Me speaking about this today is one way GSF has helped me to grow. GSF has assisted me from emerging from my shell and being open with people. I have learned no matter what you suffer from, you can always prevail. I appreciate the fact that GSF has always made me feel part of the family unit. I thank you, GSF, for all the encouragement and support you have provided, from laughter to working on projects together, maximizing my talents, supporting my endeavors, and for the countless hours you have invested in me, which has helped develop me into the remarkable young lady I am. Global Scholars has impacted me in a unique way. They helped me advance my skills to become a more powerful and effective leader, understanding diversity, building personal and professional connections with a variety of people. I dream larger and embark on adventures that take me outside of the norm, where opportunities are endless. I now shoot for the moon because I know if I miss, I will be among the stars. Again, I thank you, Global Scholars Foundation, for inspiring me to be my best, helping me to sustain my dreams, and assisting me to continue to blossom as well as grow in a positive direction. Thank you.
GSF Fellow 2018-2019, another senior as well from Thurgood Marshall, Miaza Rivers.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did not want to be a part of GSF. I know it sounds crazy, but I was like, I'm trying to make some money this summer. I'm not trying to be in this room all day. But my mom was like, I already told Dr. Brown you coming, so you going. And there I was, 9 a.m. on a summer morning in the basement of GSF, surrounded by strangers. Well, not all of them were strangers. I knew a couple of them from school, but we never really talked. I remember Dr. Brown taught us something that day that we all carry with us for the rest of the summer. If you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. I remember it became like a contest to see who came earliest. I remember we had to be there at 9, but some people came at like 7. It was crazy. This was only one of the many lessons Dr. Brown taught us that summer. We learned about financial literacy, how to deal with procrastination, which if you know any teenager, you know that is our biggest problem, and the power of body language. These lessons might seem slight, but in many ways they have changed my life. Before this summer, I couldn't keep $1 if my life depended on it. Since this summer, I have opened a savings account and I got like $2 in there, so that's good. Sometimes when I find myself in a high-stress situation, I find myself power posing in random moments like it's crazy. But like most things, hold on. One of my favorite things about this summer was team building exercises. I've never been the one to like working in groups because I was like, you know, whatever I do is going to be better than anything else. Somebody helps, like. But like most things, that has changed. When we were paired off in our groups to construct a building or a Lego helicopter or whatever out-of-the-box exercise Dr. Brown chose, I found myself excited to participate. We learned so much this summer, but most of all, we learned about ourselves. Dr. Brown gave us the tools to truly understand and grow into ourselves. Personally speaking, I learned that just because I'm naturally introverted doesn't mean I can't be assertive, that I can't be outgoing, or that I can't be who I am no matter who is around. I would like to thank GSF and Dr. Brown for helping me become a better me. Thank you.
GSF alumni, a freshman at Howard University, Miss Lauren Brown.
These reflections are not just rare to the 10 or so students who spoke tonight. The Global Scholar Foundation has affected upwards of 200 District of Columbia teens, allowing students to travel across the world, to go to universities they may not have ever thought about, to learn financial literacy, new languages, interview and job training skills. It's allowed students to come out of their shell, like you heard tonight in a couple reflections, and learn how to work in teams, which is very important. They receive tangible items like business cards, scholarships, and cool swag like windbreakers, cardigans, and hoodies. But they also take away lifelong friendships, might I add, some very cool pictures, and valuable knowledge. These students are bright, brilliant, and the best. These are also the students in your neighborhoods, wards, and the high schools that you graduated from. These are the blooming flowers to your left and to your right. You can help contribute to be the seed. One of my favorite quotes right now is, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." GSF is free for students, but it does come at a cost. I feel like this is making a lot of noise. But it does come at a cost. The cost per student per year is approximately $8,500. That's 4 digits. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to allow charity to begin at home. We have 3 ways of donating tonight. We have these cool little cards right here, which people can bring around. And you can do a check or a credit card, so we make it a couple options for you. There's also some in your handy-dandy book that Dr. Brown spent so much time on. Please don't leave these here. There's donations right at the bottom in the back page. And you can also donate via Cash App, which is $GSF 2018. And I think Kaya is going to put it up on the screen. I invite, encourage, and extremely recommend and suggest that you donate. Help put the seeds in to create these flowers that you've seen tonight and that exist all around the DC and the United States area. Thank you.
Now for a presentation of the 2018 Unlocking Dreams Awards, Mr. Kenneth Brewer, CEO of H Street Community Development Corporation, and Dr. Marcia Brown, Global Scholars Foundation Board Chair and Executive Director. Please welcome them to the stage.
We're coming to a close of our program, and we want to give some thanks and awards to individuals and companies that have been instrumental in the development of the Global Scholars Program. As the Chief Executive Officer of H Street's companies, I want to first say thank you to the board members of H Street CDC. Would you please stand, all of the board members of H Street CDC, H Street Investment Corporation, H Street Finance Corporation, the Global Scholars. Thank you. And secondly, I want to thank my wife, Deirdre, and my son, Kyle, for the countless hours that they have allowed me to be distracted from home, and also to my wife to allowing us to give a little bit of our money to a worthy cause. And the last very important thanks I want to give to all of my fraternity brothers who are here tonight. Would you please stand with me? Now, before I give these awards, let me just say that our esteemed polemarch, Brother Presley Reed, is here. Several other polemarchs are here. They have been, quite frankly, my absolute support. I have called on them. They have wrote checks. They have taken all of my calls and emails to try and make this successful, and I truly appreciate them. Now, if I had them on this stage, it might turn into a fraternity event, and I didn't do that. I didn't do that. But I want to thank Ty Simpson for his contributions. I want to thank Anthony Bowling for his contributions, because quite frankly, we would not have been here tonight but for the kind of contributions that my fraternity brothers and members of the corporate community have provided. Tom Nida at John Marshall Bank, Kwame and his company, and there are several others, F.S. Taylor, and they are auditors, and it's unusual that people decide to give money to an event like this. Now, this is our inaugural event. We hope to have one every 2 years, so next year you get a break. But the following year, we hope that you join us. We are continuing this evolution. When Marcy joined our company, it was like the sun just broke through, because we could not have done it without her. And I want to thank Dr. Marcia Brown, who's done an incredible job. So now the awards. The Rappaport Companies has been a company located in Virginia, but quite frankly, Gary Rappaport has been a friend, a very strong friend who's responded to all of our requests for help. And we could not have done this event without the support of the Rapport companies. Gary's not here, but his bio is in our program, and he does have a representative to accept this award. And her name is Jarnell Swecker. Yeah, just call him. Now, the next recipient, he's not here, but believe me, he was a blessing. Doug Jamal. We had a little building that maybe we had about $600,000 in the ground, but when we sold it, we got a rainfall. Doug Jamal paid us like $4.9 million. $4.9 million. So we had to give that building up. And he has supported and helped us along the way. And we appreciate Doug. We will also make sure that he gets a copy of the program as well. And the final award goes to Stewart Investments. Now, many people may not realize who Stewart Investments are, but Stewart is the owner of a multinational company. They own petroleum, real estate. If you've ever been to Jamaica, to Half Moon Bay, that's one of Stewart Investments' properties. Guy Stewart III and his brother, Carter Stewart, have been very generous to us. In the last 5 years, they committed $40,000, and it was $8,000 a year for 5 years. So let's give them a round of applause. Now, I want to call forward the board members of the Global Scholars Foundation. This is the tough work that gets done. I appreciate everything that they've done, and I want to start with Tom Nida from John Marshall Bank. Come on, Tom. Tom had formerly been with United Bank. And we did, I don't know how many deals. I mean, we dragged Cooper down to the closing table several times because we had to close. But I want to thank Tom for his encouragement, his money, and his contributions. Thank you. Now, George Ty Simpson, quiet guy, doesn't want a whole lot of applause, but George is a blessing for us. So I want to bring George up, and George happens to be one of my fraternity brothers. Now, just a quick little story about Ty. Don't go yet. Don't go yet, Ty. I said, Ty, I need you to serve on the Global Scholars Foundation. He said, Kenny, come on now. What more do you want? I said, man, just serve. Just serve. We're going to make it happen. We're going to do all of the work. And Ty trusted me. Now, I might think that he was thinking about Eric Jackson or somebody and said, well, you know, maybe I should do this for Eric. And I thank Eric and Ty because Ty really has been very helpful. So thank you, Ty. Oh, hey, Helen Compton Harris. Helen who? Now, Helen's at a charter school right down the road from us. And they focus on media and communications. So she was instrumental in helping us put together something called a press release. I've never done press releases. I mean, I don't understand press releases. Give me a real estate contract. But Helen helped us, and I want to thank Helen for helping us. Thank you. Okay, where is Olive Idahan? Come on, Olive. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. Now, Olive used to work at E-Trade, and so did I. She used to work at Fannie Mae, and so did I. She used to work at Bank of America, and I didn't. But I want to thank Olive for all of her hard work, and while she was at E-Trade, they tremendously gave us her time and some of their money. Thank you, Olive. Casey Davis, young man Casey Davis. Maybe you left. Now, Casey is a financier in progress. He's graduated college, and he's taken some of his best licks. We look forward to great things from Casey. Thank you. All right, Christmas Gordon. Everybody heard of Destination DC? Christmas, you know who Ty Simpson is, right? Okay, all right. Christmas, thank you so much. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Craig Galloway. Craig, mate. Thomas. Okay. Craig got a brother, but he plays Q. Ask Craig what he plays. Craig, what you pledge? All right now. Let me see the names there. Now, we have two board members who were not able to attend. We want to thank them for all of their good work. Anita Cook Wells, who's at RLJ, and they contributed heavily to our activity here tonight, as well as Thomas Penny. We want to thank them both. Unfortunately, they could not attend. So I think that's it for the awards.
But before we finish, I would like to personally call out the names of our title sponsors: H Street Community Development Corporation, H Street Investment Corporation, 2321 4th Street, RLJ Lodging and Trust, the Anthony Bowling Group, Spectrum Management, Art Janes Construction Group, H Street Main Street, the Rappaport Companies, Washington Economic Development Partnership, Destination DC, Stewart and Companies, KBPO, Philip Hampton, Leftwich and Leftwich, Insight Property Group, Reed Smith, Kenneth and Deidre Brewer, East Study Bible, Illuvio, Douglas Development, Thomas and Gail Penny, John Marshall Bank, Deloitte, and FS Taylor and Associates. Thank you so very much for sponsoring this event tonight.
All right, thank you so much. I really had a great time. I'm Marcia's neighbor, and we'll say yes in a heartbeat, but we'll also be here to support any great endeavor that supports our children, especially our kids east of the river. I am raising 3, and I want to see their possibilities and their options just run the gamut. I want them to shine, and like I see these young people, it inspires me to get involved, to really applaud the work that these people are doing in our community. So a round of applause again for all our scholars and the board members of the Global Scholars Foundation. And let me introduce the board fundraising committee chair, founder and president of Kaliv, Olive Idahen. She will close us out for the evening. Welcome her to the stage.
It was a fantastic evening, right? Guess when they started planning this? Take a guess. Who wants to try? 6 months? 6 months? What? 2 years. Oh my goodness. Who wants one more try? What? What? 2.5 months. This was pulled off in 2.5 months. So we thank everyone again for, this has been a really amazing evening, the first ever. So thank you. We have said so many thank yous, and I want to add my thank you to this. And so in closing, there are 3 simple words that define GSF. Education, global competency, and high achievers. So if anybody asks you, what is the GSF? We say what? Education, global competency, and high achievers. And don't you agree that that's what we need in today's world? See you in 2 years.